Welcome to the Social Circle, where creators come together to turn ideas into impact and goals into a reality. I am Candace, and this is
Jennifer, and good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Thanks, guys, for joining us from wherever you are in the world. We are super excited that you are here. This is a very important episode to pay attention to.
How do I know if my content is actually working? And we did
Yes.
an episode a while back, Metrics That Matter, and it's one of our top episodes. Make sure you head back and listen to that because it's got some good info. But we're going to talk about a little bit different stuff here today. How do you use your analytics and those numbers to actually see how to improve your content? What went well with it? Did it get saves? Why did it not get saves or shares?
Great. I love that topic because it is something we are doing constantly, always looking and analyzing. I
Mm.
think you do, like, maybe is it a deep dive weekly or monthly? I know you
Yeah,
are
monthly
always,
for sure.
for sure.
Monthly for sure. Yeah. And that's all of my accounts. That's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. That's all of them. I look at what worked, what didn't, how can I improve, all that. And I think that honestly, I think that's why my content's just gotten better and better. Just watching, oh, I could have cut that here, or this is where people dropped off in the reel or whatever. It's been super
And
helpful
that's
for me.
it's something that gets overlooked, I think, is so many of us are so focused on chasing the view overall rather than how do I get better view? And there
Mm-hmm.
is a difference between those two thought processes. And it's just so many of us are watching other creators. Okay, they're getting millions for what they did. I'm just going to copy what they have. And it can work to a certain level, but
Yeah.
you'll never know if it will work for you and your audience until you analyze all of the data. That's all marketing will be for you,
Mm-hmm.
is all data. You are testing theories, testing ideas, testing stuff that you see from other people and seeing if it works for you. And then you also have to do the back end of that work, which is analyze. And I
Yeah.
think that's something I love doing that because one of our topics today is trial reels and A/B testing. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it is such an important strategy for your content. And I think there's one creator that I follow right now, Jun Yu. He's got his own creator course, academy, all of these great things. And he's even pointing out in one of his recent reels where he did a hook over the same video and the same audio and the same caption. The description was all the same. The only thing he changed was the hook. And it was the same subject matter of the hook that he did, but he recognized that after the second test of his hook, he was getting more views and more engagement rather than that first test. And that's another part of that too, is that you have to be testing constantly the same idea and how many ways you can say it in different ways until you find the one that goes viral. Again, we're not here for virality, but we are here for improvement.
Hey, everything is a test. I say
Yes.
that all the time to everybody. Everything you post, every audio choice you make, every hook, every caption, everything is a test because you need to, as this is all marketing, social media marketing. If you are an influencer, a content creator, an entrepreneur with a business that you're making social media content, right? It's all social media marketing. And it's knowing what those numbers mean and doing those deep dives and researching to see how can I get better? Where can I make a change? And that's great for our social spotlight. I love that dude. I love
Oh,
his account. I have followed him. I have followed him forever. Like since I started,
yeah,
he's just gotten better. And
he
he's just
has.
real. He shared his journey, his entire journey. And I mean, he's not flippant, is that the word? Like in your face about how well he's done. He's very much a, hey, I did this, you can do this.
He puts receipts up a lot of his past and where he came from to who he is now. And just that has just evolved over time through his own creativity, through his own obviously analyzing his own content and
Mhm.
improving off of it. And then his own, customer reviews and clientele that he has developed over the last couple of years. I can't exactly remember how long he's been on social media, but he's young,
I
right? I
I
think
don't
he's
have my
under
phone.
30.
He just graduated from his doctorate program, his PhD, what, last year?
Yeah, master's, I think, in psychology or PhD in psychology,
Yeah, I
and
think
he's also got
it's like biochemic. Yeah, like he's
biotech. Yeah.
ridiculously smart.
Oh, he's genius, I would say.
But yeah, shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you. But I love the journey. And that's a whole different podcast because I really think that that's where people should start is just taking their audience on a journey with them. But let's talk about the circle hack really quick. And the circle hack, if you don't know, is just a quick tip that we like to give you that you could take away and use today. And today's circle hack is the 3 second swap. And the 3 second swap is where you can take a reel that already performed well. Take a reel that already performed well. It's got good views, likes, all of that, and duplicate it. Do the exact same thing, but replace only the first 3 seconds. New hook, add a new visual, add something along those lines. And that's your circle hack. That's your test. That's your A B test right there. Quick, easy circle hack. Look for something that did well and recreate it almost exactly the same, but just change. I would recommend one or two things at a time. Don't go in there and change 15, the music, the text, the
Yeah.
background, the whatever, the whole video. Just don't do everything all at once, especially when you're trying to test. You want to do it in small variants so that you know what
Create a
could.
tracker for yourself.
Yeah.
If you're going to do, example, a 14 to 30-day test on content, have yourself a tracker so that you know that you are testing only a hook for 14 days because you want to know after the 14 days how many times you tested it, in what ways you changed it, and just do incremental steps every day that make it so that it can add up to an overall analytical review of how well or how poorly that changed. I think a thing that a lot of us do is we test, quote unquote, one reel, two reels, but we forget to go and test again and again and again so that
Mhm.
we actually can say whether or not that idea worked. Most
Mhm.
of the time, we are constantly on a what else can I do? What is the
Right,
new thing I can
right.
do?
And we talk about this almost every week, how we're bad at repetition, but everybody should be listening to it and being like, "Okay, I need to repeat, repeat, repeat." Don't don't be like Candace and Jennifer and like it's
For
3 years later and I'm still trying to learn.
And honestly, that's the best thing too, is that constantly learning, you're not actually failing at anything. You're still trying, and that's just a show of your character. You're
Mhm.
not giving in or not giving up. You're just struggling and you haven't figured out the answer for that struggle yet. But I think one of the things I failed at horribly is I would never try testing anything. I didn't know
Mhm.
that I needed to. I didn't know that it was more beneficial to me to try and repeat myself. Rather, I was actually trying to create a brand new idea every single time I created content. And that was pretty
Same
rough back
sister.
then.
Ugh, it was rough.
It was cringe. It was awful. It didn't actually do well for me until I would say about a year and a half into my learning and education with
Mhm.
understanding marketing on social media. It's different from just social media. For me, that was the shift that I had in my viewpoint as well. My views would be stuck between 100 to 200 views. On average, that was in 30 days, that's what I was getting. I was not
Yeah.
getting followers, no engagement. And until I understood the concept around that A B testing or just then, now it's even better now because they gave us on Instagram specifically as a platform, they gave us trial reels, which I think
Mhm.
that's a strategy this year that a lot of creators have done and used to
Mhm.
improve their follower count because trial reels go to people who are not specifically following you. And these are designed to be more of an outreach option rather than only posting to your current following slash looking for new follower group. The trial reels is again the best way to A/B test something, and I think
Amen.
that if we had that probably a year or two ago when we finally understood the switch, I'm sure we'd
Yeah.
be a lot different right now. But
Yeah,
it's
I feel like we were we figured out a way to do it without trial reels. by using um TikTok or another
Platforms,
account, or
platform
yeah, we
comparison.
figured out a way to test. But I want to go back to what you said because it was really important, because it was the same for me. It took me a minute, and we both had education. Number one, we both have degrees and have been to school. So we're like, we have that. And then we have both purchased a separate marketing education. We've been to a mastermind. We've got the knowledge and the education, but that never clicked for us. The testing and analytics and the research part we had, we were good at researching, could research all day, doom scroll.
Real.
But it was the looking at what worked in a video, why did it work? You know, now I can look at somebody's video and say, well, this is why people stuck around. This is why you didn't get likes. This is why you did get likes. This is why you got saves and shares and blah, 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 blah. Now I can do that. Back then it would have been, oh, I don't know. It's maybe because your CTA said it. You know, like I wouldn't have had a clue
Yeah.
why. But that's so important to understand. Otherwise, you will continue to find yourself on this cycle of just looking to make new stuff. And I sit here now as somebody that has spent a lot of time in this office doing a lot of research and repetition. I just looked at the top TikTok creators yesterday. And once again, just like we talked about before, every video, hey guys, hey guys, hey guys, hey guys, on one. Another one was like, they were always in their car and they always started the same way. But it's that repetition, familiarity, so that people think they're getting on their phone and they're checking in with their friend. What is Jennifer doing today? What are Candace and Charlie making this week? You know, what is the chaos that's going to happen? Blah, blah, blah. You know, like that's people look, people crave that more than we as creators looking from this side of the phone realize.
Agreed. I think that's, again, that's something that is just very crucial to remind yourself of when you're creating that content, is that it's important to focus on the small implementations you can do for every reel, and it will increasingly improve. If you
Mhm.
don't try to change something, if you continue down that same path, what's the definition of insanity, right? Doing the
Mhm.
same thing over and over and
Over and
over,
over.
expecting different results. It will not change if you keep doing the same things. And
Mhm.
I think that's a hard concept for some, but it's reality. And if you take these ideas like our little tidbits that we give you and implement them, I'm sure you're going to see some kind of a difference. It's just one, consistency. And I'm going to preach
Yeah.
about consistency because I struggle with it. Trying to consistently check your analytics is another thing to add into doing all of these things. And I want to say too, when you are creating a reel that you're like, wow, this did so good and I didn't even know why. That is something that it's a false positive because you're thinking I need to do more of whatever this is. And
Mhm.
sometimes more of what that is doesn't actually relate to your messaging that you're really trying to get out. And
Mhm.
it gets, I've done some audits in the past where the person was like, well, I don't understand why this one reel outperformed all of the rest.
Mhm.
And again, that's where we look at it. You look at the call to action, the subject matter, the hook, what's being done and said in the video,
Yep.
and pointing it out to you so that you can clearly identify that for yourself and hopefully repeat the good stuff about why that one went so well rather
Mhm.
than just say, okay, well, I'm just going to do it again. Well, what did you do again? Do you even know what you did that time around? I think there was a creator we had on in our community where I was seeing one video outperform the rest because it was very specifically related to the niche that they were trying to communicate with.
Right.
And it was something, he didn't even think about it when he was doing it. And I think that falls in line with a lot of what creators do is they just everybody gets hyper focused in the perfection of their content rather
Mhm.
than what is the thing that relates to the viewer, to the audience.
Yeah.
And it's something that you talk about a lot here inside of our community as well. on the social circle. And I think it's something we learned that over time as well. We would get very excited when our content would do very well, and it wasn't something
Mhm.
we really focused on either.
No, but you know what? I remember when it finally did click for us. We were in a Monday Zoom with a group, and somebody said, "Oh, I got a lot of views on the video." And we both went to the video, and immediately we were both able to say, "Well, here's why you got those.
Mhm.
It wasn't because of this, this, or this. It's not really with your messaging." And I feel like at that moment, we were both like, "Oh shit, girl. Okay, we know it. Okay.
It's
Okay."
clicking. We're
It's
finally
right.
seeing
And
it.
I remember that Zoom. I remember that moment when I was like, okay, Jennifer and I are getting this. I mean, so,
It's clicking. It's making more sense at this point. And that's a thing that we want you guys to apply. Hopefully you take these suggestions and work that into your own content. It is something you put so much effort into one thing that you thought was going to just absolutely crush, but it did not do as well as you thought. That's
mhm.
everybody. Everybody
Yep.
does that. We all go through that. And eventually you're going to see the patterns on what people who are watching your stuff really want from you.
Mhm.
And by analyzing those pieces of content, you'll be able to take the perfectly curated content and morph it into what people really want. And I think one creator we follow, Adley, that's her whole
Mhm.
platform is viralish, right?
Yeah.
She wants you to not be perfect with your content, rather perfectly nail how you speak to your audience.
Mhm. Yeah. No, that's it's so great. I admire her and respect her so much. But I also, no, not but, excuse me. And yes, and I also feel like I hear that from a lot of creators. Like when I spend so much time on a reel, it bombs. But if
Mhm.
I post something quickly, it does really well. And like I hear that from so many people that why do you think that is?
I think in the moment, a lot of us are just, I just have to get it done. I just need to get this out. I don't want to focus or I have something else. I'm sidetracked. My brain isn't focusing on this thing. And so they'll just to get the job done, just post.
Mm,
And that most times is what gets your biggest attention.
yeah.
Then I think the problem is thereafter, once you recognize that just doing the video or the content without putting a lot of effort and focus into it, well, now you're just focusing on why did that work so well. You tend to overthink the problem and then you
Mm,
can't get back to that level again because
yeah.
you're always going to think, well, if I was so random in that video, now what do I do for my next random video? But you've
Yeah.
lost that randomness.
Yeah.
Not
That's a good point.
Yeah, not to say don't structure your content, but I think a previous speaker we had was Shannon McKinstry. Her content over the last, I think, 10 years that she has done media marketing, she has recognized how there's periods where for at least 6 months out of a year, you see content that is only instructive and educational, but it's not relatable. And then there's like that switch because
Right.
finally we're all realizing, we're all human. We don't have to just be taught something. We can actually feel our way through learning something. And there's been that giant shift. Unless you're watching other creators and paying attention to what's happening on social media, I think that just the idea of that kind of gets a little bit lost when you're trying to recreate something for yourself that did so good. You forget that you're talking to a human through video in whatever shape of form you're doing it in. You want to keep them entertained, but still not scroll past you. So you have
Right.
to find that good balance on how do I keep them watching, and this is where that trial reels and A/B testing comes into play.
Amen. And listen, trial reels, my best growth hack is using trial reels on Instagram. I
Yeah.
gained almost 2,500 followers in just a couple of weeks by taking my best performing old content, posting it as a trial, almost the exact same. Some of them I had to change the music or the text or whatever. But the premise of the video and the text on the screen and all of that is the same, and I use that old content and in my trials, and I think I'm gonna do it again. I've been doing a lot of nurture content lately. Maybe I will do that growth piece again in the back with the trial reels. That way it's not on my main account. I can continue to nurture my current audience, but then I'm also doing the growth reach out through my trials.
And I love that you point that out too, because again, we get so zoned in on reaching non-followers, we forget, well, there's already an audience following us, whether it's 5 followers or 5,000 or 50,000 followers, it doesn't
Right.
matter. You have people who did find your content and they stuck around for more of that content. It's
Mhm.
all right to be in that period where, okay, I've reached a certain number in your head because that matters to you. I've reached a certain number now. I want to speak to that certain number. That is where the nurture content is a very good player for what you're trying to tell. If you're trying to sell something, if you've got a product or a service that you're trying to get to those followers, that is your perfect time to work in more different styles of content as well. I
Mhm.
wanted to just point that out too, because again, that's a lot of times forgotten is that you have built so many people already, whether it's one person watching you, it doesn't matter. You reached out to that one person and they're following you for all the other stuff that you've done. So now you can speak to them on an occasion. I would say a good shuffle of content styles would be maybe 30% growth and then 30% nurture, and split it up if you want to, right, into that
Mhm.
concept. Again, you just have to play with those figures on how you approach your style of content, whatever it is you're doing. And
Yeah.
it's don't come in heavy with the sales pitch all the time. That's my point. You scare
Hacks.
people off more than
I
you
mean,
would if you
especially
just
now, that stuff used to work and it's just not working anymore.
it got tired. So many people were doing it. It was just a giant whammy in your face. You open up your Insta, and then all of a sudden, there's so many other people. I get annoyed seeing so many ads in my content currently. So my algorithm, for whatever reason, right now, I'm seeing a lot more ads than I like. And I'm always constantly saying I'm retraining my algorithm to not
Yeah.
show me as many ads because for
Uninterested.
yeah, uninterested is your best friend with that kind of stuff.
Amen.
And
I've clicked that not interested button so much on
I
so many on all the platforms I do. If I come across something I don't like,
yeah,
I when I started my Facebook page just a few months ago, I was getting a bunch of so I had to really train that algorithm for like a whole month. I had to go out and not interested, not interested, not interested.
see,
But
and
to
it
train it.
matters. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. In speaking of trying to understand why a reel gets a save, gets a share, figuring out the analytics, I don't want to forget to remind everyone that we have a checklist inside of our community, and we can put that link in the show notes. But it's pretty much a checklist to figure out why your reel did well or why it flopped, from the hook to the insights, watch time, where did they drop off, all of that stuff is in the checklist. So if you're interested in that, it will be linked down in the show notes. And then that way you'll have something to look at to compare until you yourself can just look at a video and say, okay, which will happen. You will get there. But we have the information to help you get there a little bit faster and it's free. So make sure you check that out.
I love those ideas that we give this stuff to you because it was something we experienced and it was
Mm.
so helpful when we were able to say, okay, this is the breakdown. And then this is something that I think a lot of people need. So definitely go in and check those out. If you have a suggestion, please let us know because I want to see how well that idea works for you.
Yeah, hit us up on our YouTube channel. I think we're at 42 followers there now, 42 subscribers. So thank you guys if you're watching. Thank you.
It has been a challenge to work in a podcast into everyday life, content creation, and everything else. So I know for you guys who are watching, listening, and all the good things, thank you so much because we really appreciate it. And your feedback is also beneficial. We may or may not point you out if you drop your handle anywhere on any of these feeds. I am so humbled by the fact that the things that we have learned and stumbled through all this time, and we're sharing it with you, and you're saying, "Oh my God, I agree," by hitting
Mhm.
that subscribe and follow, that just is telling us, we are improving on our skills in this whole thing as well. So I just wanted to say that as well, that I'm feeling super humbled and thank you for everybody who does subscribe and offer us their support. And we make more content for you because you're saying hi and
Mhm.
follow and all of those good things.
Yeah, and we really hope it's helping because we do want everybody to get there a lot faster than we did.
Truth. We are standing on the shoulders of giants who have paved ways for us. So I'm definitely here for it. And I think we had a challenge idea that we wanted to shout out for everybody who is listening. Candace, what was the idea?
Oh, go through your last 5 posts. Go through your last 5 posts, look at the engagement. See if people liked it, if they saved it, if they shared it. Look at the video and see where people dropped off. TikTok does the same thing. It doesn't matter what platform you're on. I believe Facebook has something similar, and I know
Yeah.
YouTube does. YouTube is like
Yeah.
by the millisecond. YouTube gives you like super analytics, so that you have no problem over there. But look at those last 5 posts and see, like, how can you analyze those? And if you need help, make sure you come over and grab that Reels checklist and hit us up, right, Jennifer? They can hit us up on our Instagram.
Yes, we are on Instagram, guys, at the Social Circle VIP. You need to go into that comment section in any of our videos because a lot of them are reposts from these podcasts. We share little clips on there. Comment on them. And we will definitely go in and check those out and reach out to you with your permission by you hitting the follow button that allows us to send you direct messages. And I think that you're here for that support. I'm going to guess. You
Yeah,
want somebody to say, "Hey, this is what you need."
and hey, if you're having trouble figuring out why that reel did well or why it flopped, just DM us on the Social Circle VIP.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this episode today. And I do hope you all have a really great rest of your day, and we will catch you on the next episode.
Have a great week.